Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you're all staying safe and well. If you're new here, then welcome. My name's Sarah. I make videos every single week here on YouTube discussing skincare, my acne journey, and how I'm finally sitting here comfortable in my own skin. So a question that I regularly get, particularly over on Instagram, is what SPF do I use? Particularly if you have acne prone skin, it's always hard to find like the perfect one. And SPF is so important to having clear, healthy, happy skin, particularly if you're using something like a retinoid, like tretinoin, or you're taking Roaccutane, or you're using acids in your skincare. By acids, I mean things that are going to exfoliate your skin at a much faster rate than it would naturally, because your new layer of skin is going to be far more susceptible to UVA and UVB damage. So I really want to stress how important it is to wear SPF 365 days of the year, every single day, regardless if you're inside, outside, where you live. Please remember to wear SPF. Your skin will thank you for it in many years to come, I promise. I'm actually 31 and I really wish I'd had SPF part of my daily skincare routine from like my teens, but unfortunately that was not the case for me. I was just using what I thought was adequate SPF in things like foundation and moisturizer, which certainly does not do the job. So I'm very glad at this point in my life I'm doing what I can to help maintain youthful, healthy skin. So for the past year, I have been searching for that one true holy grail SPF that I could use every day without an issue, and I have finally found it. It is honestly perfection. So I wanted to share that with you guys today and give you a full review, my thoughts on it, show you exactly how it works on my skin and all the pros and cons. And it is this SPF by Paulas Choice. It is the Super Light Daily Wrinkle Defense in SPF 30. And if you watch my channel regularly, you'll know I've been talking about this stuff for a good 6 months now, probably even longer. I think I actually got the first sample of this back in October, and it's now March. So ever since I used that tester, I have not stopped wearing this every single day. Now, when I first got this tester, I was super impressed because one, it has a slight tint to it, and I don't find that very regularly in SPFs, but the ones that I have tried before have felt quite like tacky and sticky. I used to use this Bioderma SPF 50, which is also tinted, prior to using this one. I still really do like this SPF, but it just does not compare to the Paula's Choice. The Paula's Choice texture is far better. I think if you have acne prone skin like I do, you want something that's not going to feel too heavy or greasy, which at times this stuff could. Like, I would probably not be putting on as much SPF as I'm meant to when I was applying this, whereas with this one I definitely do. That's also a really good point. When you're applying SPF, you want to go in like kind of heavy, like almost unnaturally heavy if you like, not like you'd be applying makeup. You want to put enough that is really going to cover all pores of your skin. Sometimes I even go in with 2 layers, like especially if I'm going to be outside all day. I make sure I've got more than enough SPF on. So here are all the pros to this SPF. One is that it is the best texture I've discovered for acne prone skin. It leaves like a silky matte texture. It almost kind of refines my pores, which is amazing. It does a really good job of not feeling like it's too cakey. You know, sometimes when you wear matte foundations, or at least for me, I find that they can kind of look a bit chalky and cakey at times. So anything that says it's matte, I'm not really a huge fan of, but this doesn't say it's matte, but I do find that compared to other SPFs, it is definitely a more matte texture. But I would say the best word to describe it is silky. So when you first apply it to your skin, it does feel kind of like a heavier SPF, and then slowly as you see it dry, it really does turn into that really lovely kind of silky texture. My skin feels super smooth when I'm wearing it. I've got it on now, and I do find that after you let it dry, you can actually go in with a second layer and it still doesn't feel cakey at all. So honestly, the texture is probably what's won me over with this SPF the most. So another reason why I absolutely love this SPF is because despite it looking like quite a small little tube, it's actually got 60 milliliters in here. And for reference, I thought that the Bioderma one was actually bigger, like when I was looking at them side by side, but the Bioderma one actually only has 40 milliliters. So yeah, you get a lot more out of this tube, and I'm really impressed. Like I said, I think I got the tester early October, and I actually just bought this straight away. So I probably purchased this bottle at the end of October. And like I said, it's mid-March and I've still got enough in here to probably last me another month. So I'm super impressed at how much product you get. Another huge plus for me is that this has got a slight tint to it. So whilst I don't wear makeup day to day, in fact, I can't remember the last time I actually put foundation on because I just don't feel like it sits on my skin very well. I find that I can wear this and still feel made up. And the reason being is because of that sheer tint it has. Now, the tint is definitely not going to be coverage. So please don't purchase this thinking that you you can replace like a foundation or concealer, because it certainly doesn't have that level of coverage at all. It is only one colour as far as I am aware, so obviously if you have any skin tone that's even remotely darker than me, you might struggle with this. I haven't seen anybody review this who has got a darker skin tone, so that would be interesting to see. The reason that I think they do say that it's a tint for all skin tones is because really what it's doing is not providing coverage. It's actually just kind of eliminating that blue kind of, I don't know if you've seen it on some SPFs, but sometimes you apply them and they have that kind of blue cast, or it feels very like grey, I guess, and that kind of is eliminated when you're applying this stuff because of that tint. It kind of takes over and makes it a lot softer and warmer. So yeah, if you have tried this and you've got a dark skin tone to me, please let me know how you've gotten with it, because I'm really curious. So the price of this is £34, which I think is pretty reasonable, like I said, because you do get at least 6 months wear out of it, and you know, I am applying this literally every single day, despite whether I'm staying in or going outside, so I think that's really good value for money. The way I apply this stuff is also by moisturising first, and sometimes I found obviously by moisturising first and then going in with the SPF, which you really should do if you want to have like super hydrated skin, is sometimes that they can kind of pill, and by that I mean you kind of pull off the product underneath when you apply this. I haven't found that at all, and the combination I have is this SPF with my beloved CeraVe moisturizer. So these two combined work like a dream. I usually wait probably about 10 minutes after applying my moisturizer to go in with the Paulas Choice SPF, and that works perfectly well for me. One of my favourite pros to using the Paulas Choice SPF has got to be the results, because I can honestly say my skin has definitely changed since using this. And I only know this because I have a journal, which I've talked about a few times on my channel. I designed this. It basically helps me track different triggers with my skin to basically help me understand my skin better, understand why I break out when I do. And in here I have a product tracker that I designed. I'll show you an empty page, but here I've designed basically a product tracker, and you can put in here what SPF you're using, and so then I track how often I've used it, and I can honestly say the correlation between breakouts since using this SPF has dramatically gone down. I'm so happy, and not only that, but I've noticed the texture of my skin, like my fine lines, because like I said, I am 31, I'm starting to get small fine lines around my eyes, definitely my 11s and on my forehead. I can see that they have started to reduce as well. They don't seem so harsh, so I'm super excited by that. And honestly, I think if you have acne prone skin, I would really recommend this. It's really rare that I can say that an SPF, like a cream that you feel like potentially you'd look at and might clog your pores, has done the absolute opposite. It's completely changed my skin, and yeah, I break out so much less since using this. Also, if you want to get yourself your own Skinstory journal because you want to understand your acne triggers as well, and finally, yeah, get to the root cause, then I will leave a link down below. These are still available. Yeah, click on the link. It is skinstory.love. Also, another plus to this is actually that it doesn't have a horrible smell to it. Sometimes I find with SPFs that they have got like a really chemically smell, but this smells completely fine, and it's also unscented, which is another pro, because I do find lots of SPFs also try and cover that chemical smell with a scent, which is not great if you have sensitive acne prone skin. So yes, huge plus for this. I've been trying to think of a con, but I genuinely cannot think of one. The only thing that comes to mind is the fact that this only comes in SPF 30, and I wish it came in a higher factor, just because if I'm out and about in the summer, particularly if I'm abroad or I'm at the beach, I want to make sure that I'm really covered, and I like to use an SPF 50, so that is really the only downside to this. But in terms of living kind of day to day, particularly if you live like me in the UK, then I think SPF 30 is perfect. So yeah, other than that, I can't really think of anything negative to say. So now I've explained why I love this product so much, I'm going to show you exactly how I incorporate it in my skincare routine. There's a little box on screen now, so click that and I will see you over there. Thanks guys.